Falls and eventually up around Willamette Falls Drive and around the mill, and hopefully to tie back into Territorial, which will then take it on down to River Street and through, and theoretically you would be able to find a route that would get you from one end of the city to the other end with just very few on-street areas where you have to walk. So the first phase of this was actually proposed back in 1998, and believe it or not, is actually there's some money from the 1998 park bond that's about ready to expire, but believe it or not, we still actually have the money. So it's been kind of a long journey. We got caught up in the mills or PGE's relicensing process, which took a good 10 years for the FERC permit to come through for PGE and just a lot of other things. And we've finally had some amendments to our community development code and some other things. And plus, I'm getting ready to retire and I want to get this thing done. So, so more than that, that's probably the biggest motivator for getting us going right now. But ideally, we kind of are planning on doing this the construction in about 3 phases, I think. The first phase, we're hopeful it will get us from here where we're at right now all the way down to Bernard Creek, which is just about where 5th, right a little bit past where 5th Avenue dead ends, and there's a sewer treatment pump station and all of that down there. It'll take a little ways. We'll get to the creek and probably have a turnaround there, with the next phase then getting us from across Bernard Creek, which entails a bridge, and then down to about where the Mills Warehouse 4 is. And then we think the third and final phase will be the one that takes us up. In a perfect world, we might be able to have a little bit of redundant use along the road that the mill uses, which means it wouldn't cost us much to turn that into a trail later on. But we think the 3 phases make the most sense right now. So what we're kind of hoping to do is just kind of get some ideas for the design, get a feel for what you guys are really after, what are the attributes that you would like to see on the trail. We've got a kind of a vision, I guess, if you will. We need to stay about 35 feet away from the river as part of the Greenway Act, but we can have these little spurs that'll get us down to the river. So we've got some areas of opportunities that were identified a few years ago, but whether they're the areas or not, it doesn't really, we don't know all that yet. So we're hoping to kind of learn from what you guys would like to see, what makes sense, the grades, all of that. We do anticipate that this will be 10 to 12 feet wide, so it'll be a bicycle, walking, ADA accessible trail. So everybody in the city, everybody should be able to enjoy it. So, you know, when I get my next hip replacement done, I'll still be able to come down here and do this. So, but no, it really is a goal to make sure that it is accessible for everybody. We have a huge need to get bikes ideally off of Willamette Falls Drive. I don't know if this will do that. If you have time, it will be a great route to take instead of that. But if you don't, I'm sure they're going to stay up on Willamette Falls Drive. We've also got, this is a kind of a maquette of a project that we started about 7 years ago now. I don't know. Does he think? About. And that was based on these grindstones that you'll see down here by the volleyball court, and they're actually the old grindstones from the mill, and in fact the bank is littered with them all the way down. We'll see maybe there's some right off of the point here at the boat ramp, and then there's others all the way down. But it was we did a kind of a call for artists and tried to get some ideas, and this actually turned out to be kind of the winning project, which is just a kind of a way to honor the kind of the heritage of this whole area, which was of course making paper for the most part. Along with the log rafts and some of the other things that you'll see down through here. There's going to be a lot of cable and a few other tripping hazards, so you need to make sure you pick up your feet. It's not a trail tonight, so it's just kind of we mowed it, and we mowed it to a level that we can get surveyors in to help establish the topography for the area, so that we can actually kind of further the design work. So you'll see some ivy and some stuff that'll tangle you up a little bit. There is a little bit of cable. Actually, there's a lot of cable all around the area, because this whole area years ago was basically the moorage for all the log rafts. and that we're above the falls. And so if you look at some of the old pictures, you'll just see nothing but log grass all the way up. So just be careful of all of that. Ideally, we'll take a walk. I don't know if we'll make it all the way to the end or not. We can kind of check to see how you're doing, if you want to go all the way to the end, and then come back and try to gather some feedback and get some ideas of what you'd like to see.